Hey there guys, all this while I was just looking at my Optimus Prime figure from Transformers Robots and Decepticons, and it just made me wonder why not make a new video on the Transformers series itself, because if the Power Rangers series worked out well, we could also give an attempt on the Transformers too. Yes guys, today's video is going to be about Transformers. The Transformers, you know those weird big robots that can transform into cars, trucks, airplanes, trains and anything that you can think about, and these guys have been around for almost 4 decades now. I've seen the G1 TV show, I've seen Beast Wars, I've seen Beast Machines, I've practically gone down every single cartoon in the last couple of decades that has existed, and also let's mention the Bayverse as well. The Bayverse will definitely receive a very big presence on this channel, and I guess I can redefine the narrative that centers around the Bayverse, because I have some points that I will reveal in the next couple of videos, and of course maybe briefly even in this video as well. So without any further delays guys, please subscribe to my channel if you are a fan of Mr. Optimus Prime, because he wants you to do it too. So without any further delays, if you have subscribed, let's hop on to a new adventure today. Okay, Transformers have been around for over 4 decades now. Who in their right mind would ever imagine that a Japanese toy line would end up being a big American TV show with over 4 seasons and 1 movie, which by the way is a traumatizing movie of kids of that generation who ended up seeing this guy getting killed. Of course you can see it on the GIF on the screen if you can, that is. That movie and that sequence is still traumatizing, and we'll talk about it in the movie review section if I can, that is. By the way, there's already a video in the links as well, you can go check it out. Transformers has been around for a very long time now. Talk about movies, talk about TV shows, talk about comics, talk about the toys themselves, of course. It's a massive collectible item, but where does all this come back to? It comes back to only one place. How exactly can we redefine Transformers on CineMania 24/7? That's the big question for the day. I have a lot of plans in store, and we'll discover all of these plans one by one as we speak. My first point of agenda is to begin with the TV shows. We'll start first off with G1, and then I'll talk about the Beast Wars arc a bit. I might even go into Transformers Prime as well, which by the way has to be hands down one of the darkest written Transformers shows to ever exist, if I'm not mistaken. I'll also be talking about shows like Transformers Animated as well, and the Japanese iteration of Transformers. There is the Unicron trilogy, if I'm not mistaken, Armada, Energon and Cybertron. We'll be discussing Beast Machines as well, which is a flawed sequel to Beast Wars. Apart from that, you can also ask me sorry, if we'll be discussing the Bayverse as well. Yes, we're going to discuss the Bayverse in detail and the movies that followed post The Last Night as well. All those films will be done together. I'll also be discussing some of the toys and the best combiner wars that have existed in the last couple of years. I haven't been able to buy any of them because in the country I live, they're crazy expensive and there's no point wasting all that money there. I'd much rather go and buy them in a Western country, because you know, if I have a yard sale and somebody's trying to sell off those toys, I'd get them for much cheaper, just in case. My general memories with Transformers go all the way back to 2009 and 10, when I was first watching Transformers Animated, which of course I don't like now because the designs don't really make much sense to me, and for some reason, even though the plot is pretty sophisticated for a Transformers show, the designs just are a bit off for some reason. I like G1 and Prime a little more, but nonetheless the plot for Animated was very good. It was a generally good plot. But also concurrently, the movies, the Bayverse movies, are also out as we speak, and I remember my mother purchasing me a small Transformers Revenge of the Fallen Optimus Prime Legends class figure, which I still have, by the way. I just don't have it right now at my home as we speak. So when she purchased that, I did not exactly know what that toy is, but when I look back years down the line, I do realize that yes, that was a very valuable toy that I have, and I still have it as we speak. That's the best part anyway. Guess all these years have gone with me introspecting about why I love Transformers so much, why I really have such an affinity towards it, why have I bought almost all the 3 films on DVD. You can see them in the DVD collection video as I've mentioned below, the links are given. Apart from that, I've also planned to buy the toys as well, but since I told you the country I live in, we don't have the toys here, so I've made a very comprehensive list of all the Autobots that I want to buy from the G1 and the Bayverse, the Studio Series continuity, by the way. We'll be discussing everything in detail about Transformers as the videos go by. This video is largely just my culmination, or let's say my understanding of why I love Transformers so much. In the next section, I'll be discussing more about the comics and, of course, the video games that have existed for so long. To be very honest, guys, my knowledge on the comics and the video games is a bit low. From what I understand, that G1 continuity existed with Marvel for a couple of years, I guess, because they had Marvel Transformer comics as well, where the arcs were a little different, and UK had their own versions as well. I even remember there was the UK version, which was nothing but a sequel to the 1986 movie where we see Inferno gets killed or something like that. There's a separate plot line there, if I'm not mistaken. Please remind me of that issue below. There are also examples of, novelizations of the movies which take a lot of creative liberty when we talk about just scenes in the Bayverse films. There's also a lot of these prequel tie-in comic books that IDW Publishing makes, which again is a very good add-on to the movies, by the way. I also loved some of the other stories in the Transformers arc for all these years, because there have been too many and I've not been able to follow so many of them. The toys for most of the part were a massive reason why I love them. Imagine having an entire room full of Transformers toys and there's just so many of them you can pick that there's no control to the amount of choice you have. There's just so much that I can tell you that an entire video would be short to describe them anyway. The next section would go into some of my favorite toys in the Transformers line and which I wish to buy for sure. Now, as some sort of a retro guy, or let's say a retro TV and movie enthusiast, I do realize that the G1 toys have been very valuable. These toys have been fetching shit tons of money in eBay auctions and of course other places as well. So my motive is to get a G1 Optimus Prime if I can, and maybe the boxed versions of the other Autobots and Decepticons as well, for a personal project that I want to, which I will reveal in the next few years to come. Apart from that, I would like to have only a G1 Optimus Prime as a toy with me. The rest is just okay if I don't have it anyway. You could also ask me about my other favorite toys, being the Beast Wars toys maybe. A couple of them Optimus Primal sounds like a good figure to collect. I also have the Prime figures to collect. My other second alternatives would be the Netflix series, because they're very close to the G1 designs, and now that I know that the G1 designs are very old, since they're from the 1980s, the toys have become very expensive with time. I wish to buy the newer editions in the Combiner Wars format. Maybe Bruticus, Menasor, Defensor, of course Devastator as well. The Combiners are a great toy line to begin with. Apart from that, I have interest in buying Sunstreaker, Prowl and all those other Autobots that were with Optimus Prime and company. I do not exactly have much of an interest to buy the Decepticons though, because for some reason the colors of the Decepticons don't appeal to me that much. It's more that the Autobots appeal a lot to me, because I've been a fan of the Autobots a little more. Sorry Decepticon fanboys, I'm not trying to say wrong, but it's just that I like the Autobots a little more. As a result, I have an interest only in collecting the Autobot lines a bit more, but there's just so much to collect and so much to talk about, I cannot really condense it to one video, like I just mentioned earlier. This is just some of the amount of toys that I want to collect, and there may be more that I will collect in the future. You never know. There's the Bayverse line as well, where I want to collect the original 5 Autobots, along with that the Wreckers and a lot more Autobots that have existed within the Bayverse continuity. That's it for toys, and we'll wrap up the video right away. In this dedicated section for Transformers, or let's say this entire playlist for Transformers, we'll be largely discussing the movies, the TV shows, some of the other characters that I like, some of the movements that Optimus Prime had in the Bayverse, which were mind-blowing if you ask me. There are other things also that I planned for the Transformers line as well, maybe in the form of toys, and you can also read my blogs as well, which I will be starting right away this week once again. I hope you do like them though. Apart from that, I hope everything is good with you guys, you're all doing well. So we'll wrap up the video right here. Please guys, keep buying films on physical media, stay safe, do whatever you like to do. Bye bye and Godspeed.